Hello and welcome to Northside NOW. This is the podcast where your lovable hosts take you on a tour through all of the ministries and the latest happenings around Northside Church to keep you better connected with your church family. I'm one of your hosts, Patrick, and with me as always are my two co-hosts, Glenn Miller and Kevin Bryant. How's it going, guys?
Howdy.
It's going great.
It is cooler this week than it was the last time we were together.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Because we almost all got blown away in that storm over the weekend. Do you remember that?
That's true. That did. That
You
did
already
cool
forget
things
that?
down. No.
I didn't hear it.
Do you sleep through that?
No, I couldn't sleep through the lightning and thunder.
It was
but I didn't hear
storm.
the wind, I guess.
It was pretty intense, yeah.
Yeah. You know, growing up in Texas, we used to always go outside and watch these things.
Mm-hmm.
That one made me go back in the house. And
Yeah.
maybe only twice that's happened before. I was like, it's not good to be out here right now. It was quite a win.
It does happen around here. All
Like-
seasons, and
Like they say, if you don't like the weather, just wait a day.
that's right.
And it has changed 4 times in one day, one time. But hey, have y'all been watching the Olympics?
No,
Oh, yes.
You haven't?
I really haven't. I've been meaning to. I just, I haven't had time
Do
to.
you hate America?
No.
I love the Olympics.
Yeah, me too.
I love them. And have you seen all the robots?
I know. That's what I was going to say. I was watching and it was like a running thing. And all of a sudden I see this, looks like a grown, I don't know, it's just weird looking, back and forth on the field, just on the infield.
track and field.
And it does look like, because, you know, here we do have now, you know, like our little carpet deals.
Roombas.
But they're doing a thing
iRobots.
for doing your grass.
Yes.
Where they're going to have one that will do your yard.
I've
and stuff.
seen that too.
And it looked a little like that, but it was bigger. And I was, what in the world? So I looked them up, these field support robots.
Oh,
It's so cool.
FSRs.
Yeah. Could you imagine being a kid? You just like hit a ball with a bat and it's like stick your FSR
And
on
then
it.
your field support robot brings it back to you.
It's a game changer.
Yeah. I was actually just looking at the list of like all of the army of robots. That,
Oh, yeah.
And of course it's Tokyo. So of course they've
Yeah.
got robots, but they have all sorts of like different autonomous things helping out with the games. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think one of the things that they get the javelin once someone throws the javelin, which is a spear. I guess did someone get stuck or something? Is that
Well, that was what I was just reading about those that go and like retrieve the javelins. They also like help guide the humans on the safest path to avoid obstacles. So it's like, yeah. So not only will they they're supposed to help, cut down on the number of people that are having to be there. But still, it's like they will guide you along the safest route while people are throwing spears.
what the hammer throw?
The hammer throw, yeah.
Well, with robotics being things that are entered into school now,
Oh yeah,
it makes total sense that they would show up. It does feel like it's a little bit of the future is now kind of thing. But, I mean, robots have been building cars for
a long time.
how many years now?
Decades,
Yeah. And so I think it's really cool. I mean, some people will be intimidated. The robots are taking over the world and pretty soon will become all those movies that we've watched in the past where robots are destroying the earth.
I don't know. Everybody knows my love for Star Wars, and I've been dreaming about having my own R2-D2 since I was a kid.
Well,
so this is exciting. I'm getting closer.
That's actually what I was going to say. That reminded me of these little robots, and especially like the vacuum.
The vacuum
ones. And you probably know this, Patrick, what the model numbers are, but the little black boxes that.
What are those
walk around.
called?
They're called mouse droids.
Mouse
and what do
droids.
they do?
I don't know.
And there's black ones and there's white ones too, isn't there?
They make different colors, but yeah, they're called mouse droids.
That's what I think about every time I see those little things.
And it always looks like the stormtroopers are following them somewhere, but they're also kind of like, get out of the way. You're in the way.
That's more, I think, what it is. They're like, get out of the way.
They're probably some sort of cleaning droid or,
it could be,
whatever,
yeah.
like the ones we have now.
I should know this.
Yeah,
You should. We're actually disappointed right now.
I thought I'd spring that on you.
At least I knew what it was called, right?
Yeah.
You sure did. I had no idea. Just a little white box that runs around in front of the stormtroopers and makes them mad.
Yeah. We were also talking about, though, that it's never before had this much footage available to people, right?
Yeah.
I think is what they're touting. But all the cool camera angles and
Yeah, it's
things
really
that they
neat.
have, like especially in diving and swimming, where you can see, and I saw one just today, the artistic, what's it called? Artistic swimming, maybe?
Yeah, wasn't that like
Where they show it, they've got a camera perfectly positioned so you can watch above
and below? Yeah,
and below
Yeah,
the surface
That's cool.
to watch those synchronized swimming stuff.
Yeah.
And when you watch the divers, they'll have them, the camera follows them down into the water, and then you can see it's just seamless.
Yeah, it's crazy.
seamless. And of course, Glenn, you mentioned the opening ceremonies with the
Yeah, with all that, could you imagine
Drones.
1,800 and something drones or something like? But they're all coordinated, making these shapes, and they're just so neat.
that was
It's
cool.
just- that's a lot of work to make that, and how they just like one doesn't bump into another, then you got a major issue.
Right.
One of those malfunctions in your whole show, it just like falls apart.
Well,
things-
it's
things
probably
are
like
falling.
the space shuttle where you have triple redundancies and all these
Yeah,
different
sure.
things.
Yeah.
And the space shuttle used to be the most complicated machine in the world. I wonder what it is now.
I don't know.
It might have something to do with drones and robotics and
What is that great movie line? 6,000 moving parts made by the cheapest bidder.
fair enough.
Is that Armageddon or something with Bruce Willis? Or
Something
whatever it
like that, yeah.
6,000 moving parts made by the cheapest bidder.
Yeah. So what does a mouse droid do?
Okay, I found it. It's officially the MSE-6 repair droid, commonly referred to as the mouse droid. Was a small box-shaped wheeled general purpose droid, often used for delivery and maintenance purposes.
That sounds like delivering
Let's
a
see.
shot put.
Simple maintenance tasks including
Exactly.
floor polishing.
Ah,
So it's
there you
basically a
go.
Roomba and spot welding. Yeah. So
The future is now.
there you go.
Who knew? Well, I mean, obviously, people that have created things today have said they've been inspired by Star Wars.
Well, if I see my
or
Roomba
whatever.
start spot welding something, I'm going to be real concerned. But
Yeah, ours has like a little arm. If it starts having like a little arm come out, it's over. I'm taking a sledgehammer. You're done, dude.
with the little ice, it reminds me of the Robot Wars, where you got like an ice pick. or-
battle bots.
Yeah.
Battle bots.
Yes, I love it.
We need to employ some robots here at Northside Church.
Well, that would be.
What do
We
you
have
think?
we have the big floor cleaner, but it's not. It doesn't work on its own. You got to push it. But we could probably rig that
we
up
need to
pretty
come-
quick.
Yeah.
And we use drones for some video footage and
Yeah.
stuff.
I wish we had a drone here full time. That'd be great. We could.
Yeah, we'll
do all
put
kinds
that
of
in the
fun
budget.
things.
Put an application out there online. One of the robots will apply.
What if we instead of having like those guys?
If anybody has a drone they want to get rid of, I'll take a free one.
yeah, are those people who paint or draw, do sand drawings? What if we just had
Oh,
like
yeah.
a drone show
Oh, yeah.
instead of the sand drawings or paintings? That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd work in Hope Hall real well.
Yeah.
Work that out for us, Patrick.
I'll get on that.
So
Oh, we talked about putting together a tour, like a video tour of the church for people that hadn't been here before so they can
Yeah.
see it. And
yeah, if you would like a video tour on our website, send us a message and let us know because maybe you can help us. Maybe you can put that on your green sheet.
the
There
green
we go.
sheet.
Speaking of,
Yeah, we're gonna have Rev D with us today to talk about green sheets.
Yeah, there's so many cool things that come about because people had an idea.
Yeah,
And when you connect that with the power of the Holy Spirit and the ultimate power source, God, just the ideas that have come about
yeah,
because of that. And that's one of the things I think we'll probably talk about on the green sheet is that there may not be the exact right ministry for you on the sheet. Mm-hmm. So what do you do with that? Well, I feel like Northside Church is the place you can make new ministries happen.
sure. And I always remember kind of what Paul said. I can't remember. I always get this. Can't remember if it's Galatians or Ephesians, but he says we serve not because we have to, but because we can't help ourselves from serving. And when you can't help yourself from serving, and there's lots of opportunities,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of things that you could bring to the table and say, hey, this would be cool. We're not really meeting this need, So
And there may be stuff that that you maybe have an idea of. You're just not aware that it's a need or something that even happens here. And that's where you talk to Daphne about that
yeah,
ministry. Because a lot of people, particularly I find when it comes to the gift of service, they're not the people that want the spotlight.
Yeah.
It's behind the scenes kind of. That's where they feel passion, and they don't always get the notoriety or the recognition, but it's definitely something that we need. You know, and there's no job that's too big or too small.
No, it takes all of us to make it happen. So, and everybody has a role and a purpose in place. So, so we'll be talking to her about that here pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, let's jump over and talk to her. How about that?
It's a good idea. Well, all right, we're here with Rev D. It's nice to have you back in the podcast room.
Thanks. It's great to be here with you.
Yeah, it's been a while though. I mean, the first time you came, we were still in the infancy.
She was our very first guest.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
We had tables going different directions in here, and
Yeah. We still had couches then. Like sometimes I
Yeah.
wish we had the couches back in here, but
one of them's in my office right now. I think I just want it to stay there though.
I don't think I knew that I was the very first guest. You all acted like you knew what you were doing.
we pretend real well. Well, I won't say real well. We pretend.
I don't know. We'll see if we've gotten better. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gone back and listened to that episode since then, so I'm kind of nervous to do that.
Me either. Well, we do hope you're listening to episodes because we are sharing some really great stuff with you every week, and especially this week. Daphne is here to talk about green sheets, and it's not June, it's August. So green sheets have kicked off. How's it going with the green sheet kickoff already?
Well, we got several. We just started it this past Sunday. We already have quite a number of people who've turned their completed green sheets in. So that's pretty awesome.
That's great. Now, we have listeners that don't always go to church here, but we have a lot of new people here, and some come in every week. So tell us what our green sheets, we all in this room know it, but this is for you that are listening. So, Rev D, tell us about the green sheets.
Our green sheets are our ministry opportunity sheets here at Northside. The reason why they're called green sheets, it's a really sophisticated reason. It's because since day one, and we've probably been doing these for about 10 years, they've always been copied on green paper.
So was there like a surplus of green paper in the workroom that needed to be printed
wondered
on?
that too.
It's like, hey, we got extra green paper. Let's just use green.
I think
And then it
there
stuck.
had to have been a surplus. That's what happened the first year. And it's not even a pretty color of green either. It's, it's that.
iconic.
It is now.
And so we certainly did not ever mean to call them green sheets. That just has evolved. And now that's what they're known by the most
cool.
is the green sheets. So we have to always make sure every year, I ask Jim Stillwell, who makes the copies, do we have enough green paper? Because, we cannot even think about printing them on another color paper.
Yeah, I mean, purple sheets just doesn't have the same ring to it.
It doesn't, does it? Everybody, turn in your purple sheet.
Yeah.
That's not gonna
Sometimes people even call me Mrs. Green Sheets.
work. I have heard this, yes.
That's like green sleeves or something else, green sheets. Very
It's
good.
kind of scary.
So what's the purpose of the green sheet?
Well, they do indeed serve a tremendous purpose. There are, if you count them, and we have, there are 177 things here that you can mark.
Oh, wow.
And they are ministries, areas where you can be involved, get involved in the life of the church, everything from serving as an usher or a greeter on Sunday mornings, to make sure that people, when they walk in these doors, they're welcomed, to getting here really early on a Sunday morning and helping to unlock the doors, helping to serve communion, teaching children's Sunday school, to work days, when we have work days working out in the flower beds, and everything in between. It is a way for the people who call themselves Northsiders, doesn't matter if you are officially a member of the church or not, if this is your church home, then God expects you to be involved in some way, serving God through serving people, and this is how you do it. You spend time praying about where you feel strongly that God is leading you to be in ministry for the next year. When you mark one of these things, or two, or three, or how
176.
All of them.
exactly,
Or seven.
exactly, you're not signing up to serve in these areas for the rest of your life. You're signing up to serve for the next 12 months.
Okay, so if you've done one in the past, you need to do another one, correct?
No, not necessarily. It's
Okay.
whatever God is calling you to. Maybe the first time you fill this out, you mark 2 or 3 things. And then the next year you feel like, I've got a little bit more time. I can do those and I want to, or maybe I just want to do one of those and then 3 others. There's no right or wrong. It's all about what God is leading you to do, how God is inviting you to be a part of the church. And you'll notice there's several things where you can get plugged into different ministries in the community, and even with the partnerships that we have in other countries as well.
Okay, cool. I know that for student ministries, we have one for pool parties. And Christy was needing to talk about a pool party. So she came and asked me, we're talking about where the houses with the pools are and the ones who have, and so we pulled out the green sheets of the people so we could remember. And it's very helpful when you're on staff or when you're leading a ministry area and you need to, you need a resource or you need someone to help you do something or provide something. And you can go to your green sheet folder and boom, they're there. So they are very helpful.
Yes, they are.
So,
another area is Nancy Gay, who is in charge of our hosting ministries. There's a place on here where you can mark to provide food, baked goods, and more. And this is so helpful to her when she's organizing, like the reception that we had for, our new lead pastor. Was that last week, a couple of weeks ago?
yeah, a few weeks back, yeah.
She has a whole list of people that she can contact to make cookies, make cakes, whatever she's needed. We've got a lot of people in the church that can bake, but we've also got people who wouldn't know how to begin how to bake. And so this just, helps her to know who she can call on. And that's the way it is for all of these ministries. We will be accepting these filled out forms. You can also go on our church website and fill out this online throughout the entire month of August. And then that first week of September, we will compile all of these results, and they get sent then to either the staff or the ministry leaders from all these different areas. So they've got all these names and they've got your contact information. And the thing about the green sheets, if you mark that you are interested in serving in a particular area, you will be contacted. It's not that you're, signing up for something and you'll never hear from someone.
Yeah.
You will be contacted. These are not ministries that we would like to start or that we hope to start. These are ongoing ministries where you can get plugged in if you mark that you want to.
Well, I've got 2 big questions. So the first one is, there's a lot of things on this sheet, and online I think you can do this as well, but how do you know what each one of these are? Is there like a document that tells you more detail about each particular one in case you're just not sure what it even is? Like the grilling fellowship. I didn't even know that existed, but that sounds delicious.
Well, I am so delighted that you've asked that question because there is such a document. There is it's 13 pages document that there are a lot of copies of these made on the 2 information desks here at the church. And you can also look at this online on the church's website that gives a good bit of detail for every single thing that is listed on the green sheet.
Oh, that's great.
And it's in the exact same order that the green sheet is in. So these things are easy to find. And then if you have further questions, you can contact me in the church office. You can email me. You can text me. You can stop me on a Sunday morning. And if I can't answer your question, I know who to contact to get your question answered. So, yeah.
That's great because, there's a lot of detail in that document, and I set that up, obviously, because I knew that existed, because I've used it to find out what some of these things actually mean. And I think that's important when we're talking about how we plug in. The second the question I have is, there's so many things you could do. Sometimes I feel paralyzed by there's just so many things. I just don't know what. Even if I'm praying about it, I know that I want to participate. I know I'm being called to action, but I might not know exactly where I could fit. And I've heard other people say before to this kind of thing, well, if you're not sure, just try one and see how, because that is something that sometimes we don't even know we're we fit in a place. But I think you would say that you definitely have resources for people, but you can talk to them about.
And I would love to have those conversations. It's one of my most favorite things that I get to do here at Northside is have those one-on-one conversations with people to help them figure out, first and foremost, what their spiritual gifts are.
Right.
Because that's so incredibly important. God aligns your spiritual gifts given to you by God to use to God's glory. And he aligns the spiritual gift or gifts that he gives you along with your passions and what brings you joy. Mm-hmm. And no one should be working in the life of the church in any form or fashion where they say, oh gosh, I've got to go do that again.
Right.
I mean, it should bring you joy because you're using the gifts that God has instilled within you.
Yeah. Yep.
So it should be fun, and it should bring you joy, and it should fulfill something deep within you. You've got this love of Jesus just bubbling up in you, and you automatically, therefore, want to serve, and being plugged in to where it just lines up with who God has created you to be. So come, get in touch with me, and we can schedule a time to sit down, and I can help you flesh all that out and help you if you don't know what your spiritual gifts are. Then I would love to be able to help you learn that and know that. And then I can point you, once you know that, into some areas on the green sheets that are just kind of automatics to be using your gifts and your passion.
Well, and especially if you're a new Christian, you may have not even heard of a spiritual
That's
gift
right.
before. But I found that when you are in the place God needs you to be for whatever season it is, that passion gets kind of regenerated into a fire to keep you rolling forward.
That's right.
And energized for whatever's next. We've talked a lot in here about seasons of life, and sometimes God wants you in a different spot. But if you are coming to church and just listening and really not feeling a passion, maybe you're just not participating in the right place.
That's exactly right. Yes, and I'd love to have that conversation with you to help you then get focused on where that right place is.
And like Kevin said, spiritual gifts sounds like an old thing, and everybody, the new thing is, or fairly new, and maybe it's already starting to get old, is your Enneagram,
Right.
Wait, what number are you?
Yeah, exactly. Is your Enneagram and spiritual gift, what's the difference between a spiritual gift and an Enneagram personality trait?
They tie together. I mean,
Okay.
They are different things. I mean, you're not going to find Enneagram talked about in Scripture, and you are going to see the spiritual gifts listed in Scripture. Enneagram is more about your personality.
Yeah, I thought Enneagram was a little closer to like zodiac signs than.
No,
like
no. I wouldn't say
It's like,
that.
are you a 7 or are you a
Taurus,
Gemini?
Right, yeah.
No, I think there is a little bit more validity to the Enneagram than there is to your zodiac sign. But knowing your Enneagram, number, and then what your wings are, that will absolutely help you as well, knowing how to get plugged into the church.
Yeah.
But it's not as important as knowing your spiritual gifts.
Okay, cool.
So they're not the same thing.
Yeah. It might be cool. It might be an interesting book to read sometime about your Enneagram and your spiritual gifts. Is there such a book already?
No, I don't think there is. But I've got a whole shelf of books about Enneagram too. If you want to know more about that.
This is an idea for you to write a book on Enneagrams and your spiritual gifts.
Okay, I'm going to do that in my spare time.
Okay. Yeah. You have a lot of that lately, don't you?
Everybody, look for the book coming out in 2050.
Coming soon.
There you go.
Well, one of the things that I thought about, and I talked with you a little bit before we got in here, was, and I'm showing my age maybe a little bit, talking about the purpose-driven life and Rick Warren, and that was a few years ago when that came out. But he talks about shape a lot, and spiritual gifts is part of that. Rick Warren is a pastor of a church out in California, Saddleback, and pretty influential in a lot of different ways. You may or may not like him at all in terms of preaching style, but I really liked this idea that it's not just spiritual gifts either. It's where your heart is in a given season. It's about what your abilities are. It's about your personality. I'm going through the SHAPE, and E is experience. So if you've been a high-powered CEO for a company, for example, that experience, those abilities can apply in a church life.
Absolutely.
So it's not just, okay, here's what you do in your church, here's what you do in your vocation. They all are supposed to be this part of you that God's created you to be, your unique shape, and you can and you should be using all of those things together to further God's kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your personality, you may be introverted, you may be extroverted, and that can affect where you perfectly fit. And so it is one of those things that I think, at least for me, is a sort of a lifelong exploration of where I should be and what I should be doing.
And it changes as you are on this journey
Right.
with Jesus, because so much of it is what kind of time you have available. Because, you think about, young adults with children and school and everything that goes along with that. They're not going to have right now in this season of life as much time to really get involved in the life of the church as someone who maybe is newly retired or, is not
Exactly.
working outside of the home. And so all of those things you've got to take into consideration as well and not beat yourself up because you can't do as much as someone else is doing. It's all about where you are on your journey and making sure that wherever you are involved, it is where God wants you. It is where God has called you. And if you find yourself working, even in the church, in an area where you dread it or it's just not bringing you joy, then stop doing it.
Yeah.
It is okay to say no.
Yeah.
And then to figure out, where God does want you.
Yeah, serving in the church should not be like a dreaded thing to do. I gotta go to church.
No, and it's not
do that,
about
so.
earning points or trying to prove to God or yourself or anyone else that you are worthy.
Right.
No, that's not it at all. It is the desire to serve God by serving in the church because of your relationship with Jesus. That's where it starts. It's your personal relationship with Jesus, and then out of that flows a desire then to serve others.
And I know I've had a lot of people over the years that will say things like, I don't know enough Bible to teach Sunday school. Or, I don't think I'd pass the auditions for 4 Men and a Hammer, which I'm a good tool, gopher. Go grab me a hammer, go grab me a wrench, So you don't have to be an expert in any of these things. And, it's your heart and how you're willing to love and serve that makes the difference. And these, what we understand, these things that are listed here are those opportunities that we are helping you find the spot. So
That's right. And also, what a tremendous benefit for the church.
Yeah.
Because it really does help us run this church so that we can be the body of Christ to hurting people.
Yeah.
It really does enable us to be the church. So it's so incredibly important.
Yeah, Pastor Kevin in our Rev Kev, because in here it's really confusing when he's here. but I think he said in our last podcast, or the last one with him, was the more we're around, the older you are, the more responsibility you have. It's not, it's not a time just to sit back and
right.
and chillax out there and relax and stuff. But it's like Daphne just said is, I remember, and I'm watching my kids now with their child, and they're just like, I'm tired and I have no time. And Barbie and I have a little more time right now at our current deal to do a few things. So, so definitely think about that. Think about serving out there, and this is a great tool to help us as a church family.
Yep.
So,
And let me know how I can help you if you need help in filling this out, or if you just want to talk, about what some of these things involve. I would love to have those conversations with you.
and Patrick, is there anything they need to do special when they go online, or is there a certain spot, or what's
You can
the
go
best
to
way do that?
northsidejackson.com/greensheet, and it'll take you right to the form. You can also
Okay.
find it on our resources section on our website. You can find a link to the form there, and it should be fairly explanatory going through it. I tried to make it as simple as possible, but if you do have questions or need help with it, just feel free to email me or call me up here at the church. So I'd be glad to help y'all. work through it.
One of the things I like about it, because I actually visited the website, is that it doesn't give you all 100+ things on one page.
Yeah.
You can sort of direct your attention to one area and then explore. You click on that box and it opens up other areas that you can explore.
Cool.
And it's not so overwhelming when you first go there.
Patrick
so I really
did a
like
good
that.
job with that.
Yeah,
Really
I
did,
like that a
Patrick.
lot.
So at one point, and another really celebratory thing for us in August as well, in one point, somebody, or a bunch of somebodies now, signed up to be adult Sunday school class leaders and teachers. And we have everybody's back in Sunday school, right? Tell us, it seems, how many adult Sunday school classes do we have going right now?
We have 12 adult Sunday school classes right now. And yes, indeed, all of them now. COVID just kind of wreaked havoc on our Sunday school classes because some continued to meet sort of in person, some just disbanded for a while during COVID, and some were kind of doing a hybrid where they were meeting by Zoom and some.
Yeah.
So, it was just
A bit chaotic.
yes, exactly.
To say the least.
But now all 12 of our adult Sunday school classes are meeting here on campus. And just this past Sunday, we had 2 new classes who started, just began, bringing the total to 12. And so we are excited about every single one of these 12 classes. And if you currently are not in a Sunday school class, I encourage you to get one of these Sunday school brochures that has all 12 of the classes and a good description of what each class is about, the age levels of the class, what room they meet in, and what they study. Some really good information on this. And visit around to various classes. Just because you go to one Sunday does not mean that you have joined that class and that you are a member forevermore. All of the classes are used to having people visit around. And so visit around until one feels like home to you. Even if you visit all 12 of them and start back again, there's nothing wrong with that. But we've just got a very active adult Sunday school class here at Northside, which I think in today's world is kind of unique.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that because in a lot of churches where Sunday school is, maybe they have Sunday school or small group or something, they're not calling it Sunday school because that's not a cool term anymore or whatever. Why do you think that Northside has such a strong, especially in the adult children, in every area, why do you think they have such a...
Well, I think it's because, at a church the size of Northside, it's easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle if you're not intentional. Where real growth happens is in small groups.
Yeah.
And that's what these Sunday school classes are about. I mean, some are as small as 10 people. Most have 40 or 50 people in them.
Yeah.
Small enough where you can really get to know people and people get to know you. And, it's just a sense of belonging. Which we all need.
Yeah.
People, that will walk with you as you're going through life, the good times and the bad times, as you are studying and growing closer to Jesus together. There's just this bond that's created. And I think there's a hunger for that. It's what we need as people. We need each other. Mm-hmm. And so I think that because people have experienced that here, that's why Northside has such a strong adult Sunday school classes here.
I know that when we were younger, we visited a few classes and ended up finding one. But because I teach in Sunday school for the youth so much, I don't get to go to adult Sunday school class very much. But if you're younger and you see the Pacers class over there, and you're like, I don't think I can go to that class. I'm way too young for those people. You're making a dire mistake. You need to go to the Pacers class. And I'm not pushing just their class, but it is cool when you're younger and you're a younger family to have those people in your life that are older like that and can mentor you. Plus, they just know how to have fun.
And they make some good. They make good food too. Every year they make a meal for during the youth musical. They make one of the meals for the youth group, and that was always my favorite meal of the whole week was the Pacer meal.
So it is good to hear. You don't have to just go where there's a bunch of 30-somethings. I mean, you're 30-something. It's good to hear you can visit and
Oh,
join and be a part of
absolutely.
any of the classes.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things we've talked about before is the way Christianity really was intended was relationally. Jesus was a relational connector,
Yeah.
right? And so if you're in a class that has from 30s to 60s, what better way to be intergenerationally
right.
Yeah.
connected? Just like you said, Glenn, in a class where maybe some are older and some are younger, but there's so many different rich conversations and explorations of Bible topics and themes in Christian life with the differing perspectives from someone who's a new parent at 30 maybe and someone who's retired.
Yeah.
Those are the real conversations where your Christian faith and life get challenged, expanded, growth, all that stuff. It really is where it's at.
And most of our adult Sunday school classes are a wide range of
Yeah.
ages.
Yeah.
Which
That's what I
really
noticed,
Is
yeah.
a beautiful thing. But yet, if that's not what you're looking for, then there are also classes designed more for your age group. I mean, like one of the brand new classes is a class of adults with children, with young children. And that class just started this past Sunday, and there were 36 people who showed
Yeah,
up for
that's
week
awesome.
number one.
Yeah.
And so obviously that's a huge need. And so we have a class that will meet that need. You know, if that's where you find yourself and that's what you're looking for. So, there's also a class that's called the Young Adult Ministry, the YAMS, for those ages of 18 to about 25. You know,
College age.
and even those,
potentially, or
yes,
maybe
and
not.
then after college as
Sure,
well,
yeah.
for that age group. So, no matter where you find yourself in life and no matter what you feel like, you're needing right now, there's probably going to be a Sunday school class for you to meet whatever your needs are.
Well, and the other thing too about green sheets that just came to mind is if you have God's given you this idea of a new ministry that you really feel strongly your experience and your passions and whatever is bringing you to, you could potentially start one.
Yeah, there's a place on the very front of the printed copy of the green sheets that says, "I wish to serve in this area," not listed anywhere. You can mark that, and then you get a line there that you can put what area. And then there's another place, "I would like to help start the following ministry."
Yeah.
So if God has laid something on your heart, then share it here. And there just might be one or two or three other people
Right.
who God has given that same vision to. So
Yeah.
that's how new ministries get birthed.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. Well, it's exciting to hear about a strong Sunday school, and there's places to plug in there, and then the green sheets. And one of the things I think that we hear sometimes about churches our size or larger is it's just too big. I don't want to get lost, but when you have small groups, Sunday school, places to serve and be, you still have things like choir. There's still so many small areas. Northside has never really seemed that large to me. I know I'm really, really one of those people really ingrained into it, but to me, it also feels like there's plenty of opportunity to plug into the small cell area.
And there definitely is. And that's how you get to know people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the church doesn't seem so large.
Right.
Cool. Well, this is great. So
You
green
can also
sheets in
find out
Sunday school.
You can also find out all about these on the website as well.
The
You can go
adult
to
Sunday school
all
classes,
the
yes.
Sunday school classes, and all the Wednesday night Bible studies, the share groups, the children's Sunday school classes. All of that you can find at northsidejackson.com/groups.
Okay.
And there's a breakdown of all the classes on there, so you can, if you forget to pick up a paper copy at church, you can go online and
Yeah.
see all the information there.
Yeah.
And there's also a map on the back of this adult Sunday school brochure. If you're scared to get involved because you just don't know where things are in the church, then look at the map. Ask one of us. We'll be glad to take you on a tour and help you know where things are.
Well, that's the one of the things on here, right? If people who feel gifted and called to helping people
Exactly.
find out where things are in the church, don't be afraid to ask. I encourage anybody listening to this if you feel intimidated a little bit, there are people that feel called to help you
And that's what the greeters are all about.
So take advantage
they're
of it.
looking for your questions because they want to use their spiritual gift to help you figure out things.
Right.
Well, thank you, Daphne, for getting us lined out with the green sheets and places to serve it, and just making them aware to all of us, and Patrick for hard work on the website, so that way we can do that from home, or while we're waiting in line to pick the kids up from school, we can fill out our green sheet there on our phone.
You have absolutely no excuse now.
That's good. So, what do you think? Is it better than it was back in the day, and when it was dark in here and couches? And
I think you know a little bit better now what you're doing than you did that first time.
All right.
Although, I was impressed then, but I'm really impressed now.
Well, thanks for dropping by for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Put me to work.
Yeah.
There we go. How about I'll fill yours out, Kevin, and Kevin, you fill Patrick's out.
That sounds like fun.
Patrick,
Patrick's going to be involved in hospitality.
You log them on the.
Am I not filling yours out?
No,
it's not going around the circle. Okay.
Because I'm not.
I was about to start checking everything.
I'm not real sure about if I would be definitely called to some of these things.
Right. Well, the one thing I was thinking about too was that you should take some time to consider them all.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't do it lightly. No. I think that it'd be really easy for us to, I like kids, I'll check kids. And that may not be a problem, but really pray about it like Daphne had talked about, and see where the Holy Spirit may be leading you. If you're struggling with it, she talked about some great resources, not only the information packet, but also just talking to her one-on-one that can help you explore. One of the things that I've done before is asking somebody else that I'm close to, what do you think I'm good at?
Yeah, that's true.
It's always good to just get somebody else's perspective.
Right, right. Because you may feel like it's one thing or may have no clue at all about, maybe overwhelmed with all the 100 plus options. Ask somebody else, well, you're really good with something. And then I think I'd said it here before, but if you feel like maybe it's something you're interested in, try it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And let me give you one to try specifically.
I got a couple if you wanna actually try. There's a whole section on here for technical support for worship services. If you want to give those a shot, you just let me know.
Yeah.
I think I might try that.
I always need help with the technical side of things.
And student and recreation ministries can always. But seriously, there is one, the Nativity Coordination Team. That's a short season around the holidays. And let me tell you, for somehow I have kind of gotten in charge of, or
it's just because
the coordinator.
You're so good at setting all the.
I don't know how that happened. I think I don't know what happened there, but that needs a lot of people for a short amount of time to help make that work. It really does. There's a bunch of those, and it's wonderful when we have them all set out. So little things like that, throughout the year. So all kinds of good stuff
for sure.
Run a spotlight or something is
just let
big
me know.
help. So yeah, definitely sign up and come to Sunday school. There's plenty of places there to plug into. That'd be good.
Yep, that relationship we've talked about so many times is really super important to keeping us connected and keeping us energized. So I've had some fantastic experience and conversation in small group Sunday school class before, and it's super important. Sometimes, like you said, if you're involved in another ministry area, sometimes you don't always get to participate like you'd want to. And there are seasons in our life where that makes sense. So that's important to consider as well. But
talking about classes, that kind of helps segue into our Northside News segment.
Ooh. Yeah, what's happening?
Well, tomorrow at the Men of Armor Bible study is starting back.
Okay, cool.
So it's guys, I think, of any age. Frank Palmer's teaching that one. And then also at the same time, I guess you'll have to choose, but Rev Kev is going to do a little FAQ in Hope Hall after the connection service.
He's going to be doing that with the confirmation class soon in September. And I've already started dropping hits to them, find out where the dinosaurs, what happened to them? Where were they in the creation story? Which is a great one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'd be good to hear that from him, though.
Yeah.
We have dinners that started back up on Wednesday night.
Yeah. And they started off with a bang too. Pork tenderloin.
Oh, I know they weren't playing around, were they?
They were not. They're like, we've been off a while.
Yeah.
Let's get everybody rolling again.
So make sure you get online and sign up so we know you're coming. So make sure we got enough food for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can get up on Thursday morning and go to Man of Valor workout group in the morning. So
work
you
it
can
off.
work it off.
Yeah.
That's good.
There's always stuff going on.
Always. And we are at that time where it's busy and there's a lot kicking back up, and it feels good. I know we need to be careful though, because the numbers have gone back up. So,
Yeah.
be safe around each other. Wear your mask or scoot back a little bit or whatever you need to do. But we do need to be safe while we're gathering.
Yeah.
We don't want to stop doing that. Not that we're going. So.
Well, guys, thanks for podcasting with me. And thanks to all of you out there in the world for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram at Northside Now Podcast. Go to our website, northsidejackson.com, or email us at podcast@northsidejackson.com. We hope to hear from you soon. Once again, this is Patrick.
This is Glenn.
I'm Kevin.
And that's what's happening at Northside Now.
Bye-bye.